All right, so this video is going to be mostly focused around Kim Goguen and the concept of God and free will. And I don't know how long this video is going to be, but I know it's going to be deep. And I'm going to talk about a lot of things. So you're going to want to watch this whole thing. You just watch the whole thing. I'm going to say a lot of things. I'm going to explain a lot of things. And I want people to really understand what's going on. Because some people are confused. And they'll come to me and say certain things that I don't know if they've been watching me or not. They did, but they don't know me very well. And I feel bad for those people because a lot of times they say things to me and they're completely confused about my stance on certain things. It's not just my stance. It's what I know to be the truth. It's what I feel to be the truth. And no one's going to change my mind about it, period. But I'll try to entertain certain things and I'll try to explain things as best as I can. And some people that follow Kim are confused about the concept of God and what she's talking about. So I'm going to explain that here as best as I can. And I'm certain that Kim would agree with me, although she might not agree with the way I do things, or she may not agree with the way I'm going to say things. Overall, I think her and I would be in alignment when it comes to this. And I'm going to do my best. Those that watch Kim and have an open mind and truly understand what she's talking about are going to understand me, right? But I had somebody recently come by in the last couple of days and they left a bunch of comments on different videos. The first comment they made, and I'm not going to blast this person like I normally do. I'm going to leave their name out of this. I'm just going to reference their comments, okay? Because I don't think I should always blast every person, because I know a lot of people are coming from, I want to think, a good perspective or a good point of view, or they're not a bad person. They are just confused about certain things. So I'm going to try to be nice to this person, although they kind of did set me off a little bit. I'm not going to lie. Whenever somebody talks to me about religion or God, that's my hot button. If you want to set me off, if you want to really get on my bad side, talk to me about God in the Bible. And it is what it is. I try to be gentle with those people, and I've done it my whole life. Every time I've talked to these people, it's always the same thing. It's always the same thing. Unfortunately, they're always lost. Sorry if you're religious and you're watching me, but you need to get a reality check, okay? And if you watch Kim and you're religious and you don't understand what she's talking about, I'm going to explain it to you, okay? So I'm going to try to be nice. Anyways, so this person came by. They left a bunch of comments. The first comment they left, they talked about God. And I gave them a like, I gave them a heart, and I said, okay. Although I don't fully agree with everything this person's saying, for the most part, they seem to be in the right mindset. They're coming from a good place, and I see what they're doing, all right? And I'm not going to, again, I'm just generalizing their comments. I'm not saying word for word everything they said. If you are curious about what I'm talking about, you can go find this person yourself. Just look through my videos, and I'll give you a hint. They're on the Kim Goguen videos. So go look through the Kim Goguen videos. You'll find this person, okay? But anyways, so they really believe in God. And as I just said, I try to, be understanding and open-minded and say, okay, I see where you're coming from. I don't agree with everything, but I'll like your comment and I'll let you be on your way, right? But this person is not aware of my history and my channel, and they seem to be new to the channel. I'm assuming they just discovered my channel, and they're not aware of my beliefs on God. They're not aware of where I stand when it comes to Kim Goguen and God. So I'm going to try to help them out in this video. They started commenting on other videos, leaving similar but more intense God-like comments, talking about God and religion and stuff like that. They didn't really say religion, but they talked about God a lot, right? And I was like, okay, this person's clearly religious. Even though they didn't mention their religion, which is irrelevant, doesn't matter. If you follow God and the Bible, you're pretty much religious. You don't have to go to church to be religious. You can be religious in your house. Just read the Bible and believe in God. You're religious. Bam, done. But the point I'm trying to make is, regardless of whether they follow a religion or not. They really believe in God. They really believe in the Bible and everything it says. And when Kim talks about God, they believe that Kim's concept of God is equivalent to theirs. So they think that when Kim says God, it's the same as their God that's in their Bible. That's not what Kim is talking about. And I'm sure the people that really understand Kim and know where she's coming from know that Kim isn't necessarily talking about the same God that's in the Bible. Although she has referenced the Bible a few times, and a lot of the things that she's referenced are the truth about the Bible, she's not really talking about that God. And that's where people are getting confused. That God, his name is Jehovah, okay? He was an evil alien tyrant that came to Earth at a certain time, a few thousand years ago, and subjugated the human population that was here. That was basically a bunch of ignorant native people that didn't really know anything about anything. They were very primitive. And he was an advanced alien. He was very powerful. He had a lot of technology. He had psychic powers. He can do a lot of things that humans couldn't do. And because of that, compared to the feeble, weak humans that were here, that weren't evolved, that were very primitive, he seemed like a god to them. So if he instilled thoughts in their minds and showed them things that seemed godlike to them, and then on top of that, he threatened to kill them or subjugate them against their will, then those people are going to believe that this God is who he says he is. And in the Bible, there are many examples of God being a tyrant, of God being evil, of God doing evil things. He didn't hide what he did. He didn't hide what he was. He just told people that it's good for you. It's good for you if I punish you. It's good for you if I hurt you. It's good for you if you go against me and I destroy you. He made people really believe this. And those people were so stupid back then, they didn't know any better, that they followed whatever he said because they were scared. They were petrified that, hey, if we don't do what this guy says, we're fucked. That's all that it was. That's all that it's ever been. People to this day say the same shit. They're like, God is a wrathful God. He's a vengeful God. He's a jealous God. You equate those qualities with good? Vengeance? Wrath? Jealousy? Those are good words to you? Those are good concepts to you? If you're religious, you really believe that's a good person? Just because a book says so? So, anybody can come up to you and be like, look, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to shoot you. And it's for your own good. Trust me. This is the God-fearing thing to do. This is what God wants. You have to believe me. Just do this. Oh, look, I wrote it in his book. And if I kill you because I say I'm God and it's for your own good, just let it be. That's what's happening. That's basically what's happening. That's what even the people, the best example I could use is the Middle East, right? There are a lot of people that believe in Islam and all of that crap over there, right? And what do? They kill themselves for their beliefs because they really believe that their God, which is the same God that's in every other religion, that's lied to all the people of the world. And he's changed languages. He's changed all these things, all the religions, right? They all basically came from the same place. So if you're following Islam and you're following Christianity, guess what? You're basically worshiping the same God. The words were changed. That's why they're different languages, right? So people don't understand that this is all semantics. You've been lied to. Some ideas were changed by humans, or some concepts were changed by humans when they wrote these books, the Quran or the Bible. But it's the same fucking shit. But people are so stupid that they think it's different because the language is different. So they're like, oh, well, they call him Allah and we call him God. So that means they're different people. They're different gods. No, they're not. They're the same fucking shit. But because people don't understand, they think it's different. It's not. It's the same thing. It's that simple. They do the same shit. They just call it different names. And the ideas that were written by men are just different ideas that were conjured up by men who wanted their God to be different than the other gods. They were like, well, our God is better than your God, so we're going to say he did this thing different than your God. It's the same fucking shit. It's so frustrating to me that I live in the year 2024 and people are no more advanced, evolved, or intelligent than 3,000 or 4,000 years ago. It's the same. People are still as stupid as they were back then. It's mind-boggling to me. But anyways, let's continue, okay? So, this person that came to my channel, they believe that when Kim Goguen says God, she's referring to Jehovah, who was an evil tyrant, alien, that I just explained to you what he did. I just explained to you what he has done. If you don't know where to find this information, go look it up yourself. And I have to say a few more things before I continue. Those of you that know me know that I'm a supporter of Kim, right? But I've never been a blind supporter of anyone. I've never blindly supported everything that Kim says or does. If I have a problem with something that she says, I'll say it. So this person that came to my channel, they're not aware that in my past videos when I talked about Kim, I've mentioned, go look it up, go look at my videos, you'll find it when I talk about Kim Goguen, that I don't like when she uses the term God. Why? Because it fools people into believing that she's talking about their God, whatever God they believe in. You know why Kim does that? I'm going to explain it to you, person that just showed up recently in the last couple of videos or the last couple of days. She's talking about source. Source is a creational energy that creates everything. That's what she's talking about when she says God. She's not talking about your God or your religion in your Bible. That's a different person. The reason why Kim says God is because she knows that religious people are so ignorant. And see, this is where me and Kim are very different. She's not going to say this to you. She's never going to say this to you. She's never going to tell anyone this. But I know what she's doing. And those of you that are smart enough will understand me. She knows that the only way to get through the religious sheep is to say God. So they can understand that she's talking about source and God. And she's equating them. But that's not what she means. She's not talking about Jehovah. She's talking about an energy that has no gender. It's just an energy that creates everything. Okay? That's all she's talking about. She calls it source. Okay? Now, granted, once she started using the term God and she started calling it he and all these other things, she lost me. I'm telling you guys the truth. I said, okay, I don't like this. I don't like that she's going down this route, this road, because it leads to more ignorance. And because Kim is a nice person, she's not going to tell you guys what I'm saying right now, which is the absolute truth. She's referring to something that's not in your Bible, although the God in the Bible equates himself with creation. That's how he fooled a lot of people back then in the primitive times. Wake the fuck up. You're not 3,000 or 4,000 years ago. You're here now. You're not back then. You're here now. You should be able to see what's going on and how you've been misled and lied to. But again, Kim is a nice person. She doesn't want to ruin your little fantasy of your religion. So she's like, hey, guys, the only way I can reach you is by saying God when I'm talking about source, because you guys aren't going to understand if I say source. So she has to say God in the place of source. Do you understand? Whoever's religious that's watching this, that thinks that Kim is talking about your God, Jehovah, in your Bible, she's not talking about that, okay? She's only using that term because it's the only way she can reach you. Because she knows how ignorant religious people are, and they're never going to understand her if she just says source. Okay? I just explained it like 5 times in a row because I don't think people understand. And religious people are so brainwashed by the Bible that it's hard to reach these people. It's hard to get them to understand anything beyond what's in that book. They read that book, they're done. They're gone for life. It's like you can't redeem them. They have to learn the hard way, basically on their own, that their Bible lies to them by whatever truth is revealed to them throughout their lives. But when people like me and Kim talk to them, it's like, well, unless you say God, I don't want to hear anything you have to say. That's why Kim did it. That's the only reason why she did it. But again, because I am who I am. I'm the real truth, and I'm going to tell you the truth for what it is. If I see somebody saying something that I don't agree with, and I see that it leads down a more delusional path, not for her, because Kim's doing what she's doing to try to help people, but for other people that are watching her, and then you guys come to me and you think I'm like Kim and I'm going to sugarcoat things, or I'm going to cuddle you or caress your head and say, yes, darling, you're right. God is real and the Bible is real. You're out of your damn mind. I'm not Kim. I've never claimed to be a light worker. I'm not some nice guy. I am me. I am a different person than Kim. Just because I talk about Kim and I agree with a lot of things that she says doesn't mean that me and her are 100% in sync. As a matter of fact, I haven't watched her in a very long time. Why? Because I got to a point where I was basically hearing the same thing over and over and over. And I was like, okay, I know what she's going to say. So I don't need to keep watching her. Maybe you guys don't know, but I know. So I'm like, okay, I already know what she's going to say. I don't need to keep watching her. Now, if there's something different that she's saying now that she hasn't said in a year ago or a year ago, last time I watched her, then tell me what's changed. But so far, the people that have come to me, they haven't told me anything new. Now, I want to watch her on my own so I can dissect what she's saying and then basically tell you guys what I got from it. But I haven't gotten to it yet because I have other things going on that take priority. But eventually, I'll get back to watching Kim and breaking down her information like I used to. But right now, unless somebody tells me something I don't know that I need to pay attention to, I pretty much know everything she's saying. I could give you a hint. She's still fighting the dark forces. Look, I haven't watched her in a long time. I don't know anything she said recently. But I could tell you what she's saying without even watching. She's fighting the dark forces. She's still fighting the deep state. She's still fighting corrupt people. She's getting directed from source to clear this group out, clear that group out. Blah, blah, blah. The same thing over and over and over. I already know. But I did say about a year ago, I said by the end of this year or the end of 2023, if things haven't changed in the world and I don't see anything getting better, that it's going to really make me question Kim. That's the nicest way I can put it. Does that mean I don't follow her or believe the things that she say or I'm against her? No. It just means that if I'm seeing things progressively get worse, it's hard for me to keep following someone that's telling me things that are not aligning with what I'm seeing. Okay? That's all. Doesn't mean she's wrong. She could be right. I don't know. I can't prove one way or the other. And that's why I tell people that watch me, go discover the truth for yourself. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to Kim. Don't listen to anybody. I mean, you can listen, but you don't have to blindly follow anyone. Just discover your own truth and believe in your own truth. People say there's an absolute truth. Truth is not subjective. That's bullshit. That's a lie. Because if truth wasn't subjective, then everybody would be on the same page. We would all agree on the same stuff, right? But unfortunately, it is subjective, and it's up to each individual person to discover what the truth is for them. So I could believe something, but the person that I was just talking about, they don't agree with my beliefs, or they don't agree with what I know to be the truth. So they're not gonna listen to me. As a matter of fact, that person unsubbed from the channel because they didn't like the truth of what I was speaking. It didn't align with their truth. It didn't align what they believe to be the truth. But I'm explaining to you the absolute truth of what Kim was saying when she's talking about God or source. And if that doesn't hit home, then there's nothing I can do for you. I'm not someone for you to watch. I'm not someone for you to talk to. You're not going to convince me. You're not going to change my mind because I know what the truth is, the absolute truth. But again, even that is subjective to myself because I know what it is. I know what the truth is for myself, but that doesn't mean I can make anyone else believe it or that I can convince anyone. I can just tell you what I believe. But I sure as hell am not going to change my mind over what anyone else says, especially not a religious person. You're not convincing me of anything. So you're just wasting your breath. Just stop. So I tried to be nice to this person. I said, look, don't make a fool of yourself. Continuously telling me the same thing over and over that I've heard my entire life. I grew up in religion. I've studied religion for a long time. You're not telling me anything. Stop. I know what the truth is. You're wasting your breath. Go talk to someone else that's religious. Go talk to Kim. If you think Kim is religious or she's going to listen to you, why don't you go tell her what you're telling me? Go talk to her. Okay? Don't tell me this shit because I'm not buying it. I'm not with it. And again, that's one of the biggest issues that I had with Kim was her bringing up God and equating it to source when there are two different things. God in the Bible, Jehovah, is a person, is a human that was very advanced. He was an alien and he fooled a lot of people into believing his bullshit. That's all. He had power. He was great compared to human standards, but he was an evil tyrant. Period. He was a bully. He wanted people, and the Bible has this full of examples of him bullying people. So if you think I'm full of shit, read your own fucking Bible. And you'll see the truth for yourself. He was evil. But because he was who he was and how he was, and he made people believe that he was equivalent to creation, he scared the fuck out of everybody, including to this day, he's still scaring people. Where people are like, oh my God, if I don't listen to God, I'm going to hell. I'm fucked. I have to do what he says. If you're that stupid to believe that, there is no hell. There is no heaven. But if you want to believe that there is, that's your choice. And if you go to heaven or hell when you die, good for you. I don't give a shit. Guess what? I'm not going there because I don't believe in that shit. All right? I go where the fuck I want to go. I do what the fuck I want to do, which leads me to the concept of free will. Is there such thing as free will? Now, I believe that creation, this is my own personal belief, that creation creates everyone and everything, and you are given free will from your creation. Meaning, once you're created, you can do as you please, good or bad. We live in a polarized universe, right? Where there are rules of good and bad. They define, basically your actions define who you are and what side you're on. You get to pick. That's your free will, right? You can be good or bad, right? That's up to you, what you decide to do. But you decide what you do. It's your free will. This person was telling me that God gives you free will, but you have to follow the laws of God. So they're talking about Jehovah again, right? And they're saying, well, Jehovah gives you free will, but, and mind you, this is a human. It's an alien human that came here to subjugate the people of this planet and make them do his bidding. That's all he came here for, just to be evil. And when you pray to God or Jehovah, back then, not now, because he's incapacitated at the moment. But back then, when you prayed to Jehovah, you were giving him power. You were feeding him energy. So he became stronger. That's why he wanted people to pray to him. But anyways, the point I'm trying to make is that person doesn't exist anymore in that form. They're no longer that God. They've been replaced and moved. They've been basically taken out of the picture. Okay. So if you're believing that this person was any good in your life or in anyone's life, and you're giving him energy and praying to him, you're not doing anything really. You're just wasting your time. It's not the same thing as creation that has created everyone to have their free will to do as you please. That's very different than the God in the Bible, Jehovah. So to me, my belief, my truth, whatever you want to call it, I am my own God and I do as I please, good or bad. Doesn't matter. That's why I tell you guys how you view me is your own concept of good and evil. If you view me as good, that's what you think is good. If you view me as evil, that's what you think is evil. You decide what you think of me, but guess what? I don't give a shit. I'm going to live my life how I want and say what I want and do what I want because it's my free will. I'm not worried about what you think about me. That's your fucking opinion. I don't give a shit. I think how I want and I do what I want. You understand? And you can do the same thing. So if you want to be a brainwashed sheep that reads the Bible and goes to church every Sunday and you think that's doing something, do it. That's your business. But don't come and fucking tell me about it and think you're changing me. or you're going to convince me of anything, because I know what the truth is. And I don't need you to tell me anything. Period. That's it. I just explained this to you in this video. How I feel and what I think about God, creation, or source. People call it divinity, creation, source, the divine, whatever. There are different words for it, right? The universe, whatever. Everyone has their own semantic way of saying God, right? And that's why Kim decided to say God, because she knew that was the most common term used by most religions and most people in this world as to what God is. But she's talking about source or creation, and it's not the same thing as Jehovah, okay? It's a different thing. Jehovah, just like all of us, came from that source. That's why it's called source, because we all came from that point, from that energy. But again, my belief is, my truth, what I know is you are your own God and you decide what's good and bad. So whatever you want to do, you decide whether it's good or bad to yourself. Now, there are laws in the universe that have already dictated what is good and bad. And that's why I say, is there a free will? Is there such thing as free will? Well, according to this person, they're telling me we all have free will, yet we have to follow God's laws, which is Jehovah. So how can you contradict yourself one sentence after the other? Because they said it one sentence after the other. They were like, yeah, we all have free will, but you have to do what God says. You have to do what Jehovah says. And I'm like, what? I'm like, you just negated your first sentence with your second one. You just contradicted yourself 2 seconds later. Do you even know what free will is? So I believe there is free will. Now, there are laws in the universe that dictate whether you're good or bad, but you still have to make your decision on your own of what you want to do. And then you get put into a category. That's it. That's how it works. So yeah, you do have free will. But if you're religious, you kind of remove your own free will because you live according to another entity's laws and rules that they've placed on you. So it is what it is. You do what you want. But that's why there's good and evil, right? That's why there are evil entities and good entities, because they all have free will. You have the choice. You can be good or bad. That's up to you how you want to live, what you want to do. But you have to make the decision. It's not, oh, well, I'm good if this entity says I'm good. That's not free will. That's you doing someone else's bidding. Period. Now, if you want to live according to the laws of creation and the universe, then that's your decision. Then you're in alignment with source. And if you go against that, then you're against source. But that's your free will. You're choosing what you want to do. That's up to you. And there are consequences and rewards, right? There's a reward system and a consequence system for either following what's right or following what's wrong. And again, that also, once again, brings up the question of free will. Because even if source has laws and rules, is there really a free will? I'll let you guys think about that. I think I've said enough. I think you guys get the point. If you like, comment, subscribe, share where you can. Hit the notification bell. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.